You know what's terrifying? Most people walking down the aisle today will end up sitting across from each other in a lawyer's office, fighting over who gets the coffee maker. But here's what's even more terrifying. They have no idea they're already doing the one thing that's going to destroy their marriage. Right now, today. As we speak, I've spent 2 decades watching good people tear each other apart. I've seen billionaires cry over text messages. I've watched parents destroy their children's lives over who forgot to buy milk. And in every single case, there's one habit that started it all. It's not cheating. It's not money problems. It's not even communication issues, though that's what everyone thinks. No, this is something far more insidious. Something that happens so gradually, so quietly, that by the time you notice it, it's already too late. If you're in a relationship right now, if you love someone, if you're married, engaged, or even just committed to someone, you need to hear this. Because I guarantee you that you're probably doing this right now without even realizing it. And if you don't stop, if you don't recognize what's happening, you're going to end up just another statistic. Another broken family, another divorce. But before we dive into this, hit that like button right now. Because what I'm about to tell you could save your relationship. And when this video is over, I want you to comment below and tell me, have you recognized this pattern in your own life? Because awareness is the first step to breaking free from this destructive cycle. Here's the brutal truth that no one wants to hear. Most people are completely blind to their own destructive patterns. They think they're good partners. They think they're doing everything right. They believe that love should be enough, that if 2 people really care about each other, everything else will work itself out. That's bullshit. Pure, unadulterated bullshit. Love is not enough. It never has been, and it never will be. You know what destroys more marriages than infidelity? Neglect. You know what kills more relationships than screaming fights? Silence. And you know what creates more divorces than dramatic betrayals? Mundane, everyday indifference. People wait until the big thing happens. The affair, the financial betrayal, the substance abuse. They wait for that catastrophic moment and then they go, where did we go wrong? And the answer is quite a while ago, long before the dramatic ending. It started with something so small, so seemingly insignificant that nobody even noticed. Let me tell you about the granola box. I had a client, successful woman, beautiful marriage by all external standards. 22 years together, 2 kids, nice house. The works. And you know what ended it all? A fucking granola box. For years, her husband would bring her coffee in bed every morning, without fail. It was their thing. He'd get up early, make her coffee exactly how she liked it, and bring it to her with a smile. She loved it. It made her feel cherished, special, loved. But somewhere along the way, life got busy. Kids got older. Work got more demanding. And slowly, gradually, he stopped, not all at once. It wasn't like he woke up one day and decided to be a shitty husband. It was gradual. First, it was only on weekends, then only on Sundays, then only when he remembered, then never. Meanwhile, she used to pack his lunch every day. She'd wake up early, make him a sandwich, throw in his favorite granola bar, write him little notes. It was her way of saying, I love you, without words. But he stopped noticing. He'd eat the lunch, throw away the note, and never mention it. So she stopped too. They both stopped doing the things that made them fall in love in the first place. And you know what replaced those small acts of love? Resentment, contempt, indifference. The day she filed for divorce, you know what the final straw was? He complained that there was no granola in the house. After years of her buying his favorite kind, after years of her thinking about his needs, his preferences, his happiness, he had the audacity to complain that she hadn't bought granola. That's when she realized he had taken her completely for granted. Every gesture, every kindness, every small act of love had become invisible to him. She had become invisible to him. And that's when 22 years of marriage died. Over a fucking granola box. But here's what's really fucked up about this story. He had no idea, none. He thought everything was fine. He thought they were just going through a rough patch. He couldn't understand why she was suddenly so angry, why she was suddenly so distant, because to him, nothing had changed. And that was exactly the problem. This is the habit that's killing your relationship right now. Taking your partner for granted, assuming they'll always be there, believing that because you said, I love you at the altar, you never have to prove it again. That because you're committed, you can stop trying. You want to know what I see in every single divorce case that crosses my desk? 2 people who stopped seeing each other, not physically. They lived in the same house, slept in the same bed, shared the same space. But they stopped truly seeing each other. They stopped noticing. They stopped appreciating. They stopped trying. And here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. The human brain is designed to work against you in long-term relationships. It's called hedonic adaptation. Basically, your brain gets used to good things and stops producing the same chemical response. That rush you felt when your partner brought you flowers, your brain stops caring after a while. That excitement when they did something thoughtful, it fades. But we mistake that fading feeling for falling out of love. We think that because the butterflies are gone, the relationship is doomed. We stop putting in effort because it doesn't feel as rewarding. And that's when the death spiral begins. Your brain treats your long-term partner like furniture. Useful, necessary, but unremarkable. You don't think about your couch every day. You don't appreciate your refrigerator. You just expect them to be there, to work, to serve their purpose. And that's exactly how most people start treating their partners. Think about it. When was the last time you really looked at your partner? Not glanced at them while scrolling your phone, not saw them in passing as you both rushed to work. When did you last really look at them? Study their face? Notice if they seemed tired or stressed or happy. When was the last time you did something, anything, just to make them smile? Not because it was their birthday or Valentine's Day or because you were in trouble. Just to see that look in their eyes that says, this person sees me, values me, chooses me. Most of you can't remember. And that's terrifying, because while you've been taking them for granted, assuming they'll always be there, they've been slowly dying inside. Feeling invisible, feeling unappreciated, feeling like they could disappear and you wouldn't even notice until the laundry stopped getting done. Let me tell you another story. I had a client, a surgeon, brilliant man. Saved lives every day, but he couldn't save his own marriage. His wife left him after 18 years. You know why? Because he never once, in 18 years, asked her about her day. Not once. He'd come home, she'd ask how his day was, he'd talk for 20 minutes about surgeries and patients and hospital politics. Then he'd eat dinner, watch TV, and go to bed. She could have cured cancer, won the lottery, or had a nervous breakdown, and he would never know. Because he never asked. And when she finally told him she was leaving, you know what he said? But I've been a good husband. I never cheated. I provided for you. I love you. And she said, you love the idea of me. You love having a wife. But you don't know me at all. You haven't been curious about me in years. He was shocked, devastated, confused. Because in his mind, he had been a good husband. He worked hard, came home every night, was faithful. He thought that was enough. He thought love was a checkbox you tick once and forget about. But love isn't a one-time decision. It's a daily choice. It's choosing to be curious about someone you've known for years. It's choosing to find them interesting even when you know all their stories. It's choosing to pursue them even when you've already caught them. And here's what makes this even worse. We live in a culture that encourages this behavior. We're told that the real test of love is whether it survives without effort. That if you have to work at it, it's not true love. That healthy relationships should be effortless. Bullshit. The healthiest relationships are the ones where both people choose each other every single day, where they continue to court each other years after the wedding, where they never stop trying to win each other's love. But most people think that marriage is the finish line. They think that once you've committed, you can coast. You can stop trying. You can stop being the person your partner fell in love with. And then they're shocked, when their partner starts looking elsewhere for attention, affection, appreciation. I've seen it 1,000 times. The husband who stops complimenting his wife and then can't understand why she lights up when the barista at Starbucks calls her beautiful. The wife who stops showing interest in her husband's day and then is confused when he spends hours talking to his female coworker who actually listens. Affairs don't start with physical attraction. They start with someone feeling seen, heard, appreciated by someone other than their partner. They start when someone else does what you stopped doing years ago. And here's the really fucked up part. The person who's being taken for granted almost never speaks up. You know why? Because asking to be appreciated feels pathetic. Begging your partner to notice you feels degrading. So they suffer in silence, hoping you'll figure it out on your own. Hoping you'll remember how to love them the way you used to, but you don't. Because you're comfortable. You're secure. You think the relationship is fine because nobody's screaming, nobody's threatening to leave. You mistake the absence of conflict for the presence of love. And that's the most dangerous mistake you can make. I had another client, a teacher. Beautiful woman, kind heart, devoted mother. Her husband was a good man, worked hard, loved his family. But he had this habit. Every time she tried to tell him something important, he'd half listen while doing something else. Watching TV, checking his phone, reading the paper. He'd make the appropriate noises. Uh-huh, that's nice. Oh, really? But he wasn't really there. She tried everything. She'd ask him to put down his phone. She'd wait until he wasn't busy. She'd even say, "This is important. Can you please listen?" But somehow, he was always distracted. Always had something more urgent to do than give her his full attention, so she stopped talking to him about anything that mattered. Her fears, her dreams, her struggles, her victories, she kept it all to herself. And slowly, she became a stranger in her own home, living with a man who knew nothing about her inner life, her real thoughts, her actual feelings. When she filed for divorce, he was blindsided. "But we never fought," he said. "We got along great." And she said, "We didn't get along. We just stopped trying to connect." That's what taking someone for granted looks like. It's not dramatic. It's not violent. It's just nothing. It's the absence of attention, appreciation, effort. It's treating the most important person in your life like background noise. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like in real life. You wake up in the morning. Your partner's already getting ready for work. You both mumble, "Good morning," maybe. You're both on your phones. You eat breakfast separately, or one of you skips it entirely. You barely talk during coffee. Maybe you discuss logistics. Who's picking up the kids? What's for dinner? When is that appointment? You both leave for work. You don't kiss goodbye, or if you do, it's perfunctory. A habit, no passion, no meaning. Just a quick peck, because that's what married people do. You don't think about each other during the day unless there's a problem to solve or a question to answer. You come home exhausted. Maybe you ask, how was your day? But you're already mentally planning the evening. Dinner, kids, chores, maybe some TV. You eat together, but you're both on your phones or watching something. The conversation is surface level, safe, boring. You go to bed at different times or together, but you're both scrolling social media. Maybe you have sex occasionally, but it's routine, efficient, like checking an item off a to-do list. You fall asleep without really connecting, without sharing anything meaningful about your day, your thoughts, your feelings, and you do this every day, for years. And you wonder why the magic is gone. Meanwhile, your partner is dying a slow death. They're becoming a ghost in their own life. They watch other couples who still look at each other with desire, with interest, with joy, and they wonder what happened to them. They wonder if this is all there is. They wonder if they made a mistake. And then one day, someone at work compliments their new haircut. Someone laughs at their joke. Someone asks about their weekend and actually listens to the answer. And for a moment, just a moment, they remember what it feels like to be seen, to matter, to be interesting to another human being. That's how it starts. Not with grand romantic gestures or dramatic declarations of love. It starts with someone else doing what you stopped doing, paying attention, showing interest, making them feel valued. And suddenly, they start looking forward to those interactions. They start thinking about that person. They start wondering what they're doing, how they're feeling. And before they know it, they're emotionally invested in someone who isn't their partner, someone who appreciates them, someone who notices them. I've seen this pattern so many times I could predict it. It always starts the same way. Someone feels invisible in their own relationship. Someone stops feeling valued, appreciated, seen. And then someone else, someone new, makes them feel alive again. It's not about the new person being better. It's about the new person doing what the partner stopped doing. It's about basic human needs for attention, appreciation, and connection being met somewhere else because they're not being met at home. And here's what's truly heartbreaking about this whole situation. In almost every case, both people still love each other. The foundation is still there. The history, the shared experiences, the deep knowledge of each other. But they've forgotten how to show it. They've forgotten how to nurture it. They've forgotten that love is a verb, not just a feeling. I had a case where the couple had been married for 31 years. 31 years. They had 3 children, 7 grandchildren, a whole life together. And they were getting divorced because, and I quote, "we're strangers who happen to live in the same house." During the deposition, I asked them when they stopped being curious about each other. They couldn't remember. It had been so gradual, so subtle that they couldn't pinpoint when it happened. But somewhere along the way, they stopped asking questions. They stopped sharing dreams. They stopped really listening to each other. The wife said something that broke my heart. She said, "I used to lie awake at night planning things to tell him in the morning. Little stories about my day, things I thought would make him laugh. But he stopped responding, stopped engaging, so I stopped sharing. And then one day I realized we hadn't had a real conversation in years." The husband was shocked. He had no idea she felt that way. He thought they were fine. He thought they were just comfortable with each other. He didn't realize that comfort had turned into complacency, and complacency had turned into indifference. This is happening right now, to someone you know. Maybe to you, maybe to your partner. And the tragic thing is, it's completely preventable. This whole disaster, this destruction of families and hearts and futures, could be avoided with something so simple it sounds stupid. Pay attention. That's it. Pay fucking attention to the person you claim to love more than anyone else in the world. But it's more than just paying attention. It's about maintaining curiosity. It's about treating your partner like they're still the most interesting person you know, even after you've heard all their stories. It's about asking questions like you're still getting to know them, because the truth is, people change. They grow, they evolve. And if you're not paying attention, you'll wake up one day married to a stranger. Notice when they get a haircut. Comment on it. Notice when they're tired, stressed, excited, sad. Ask about it. Notice when they do something for you, even if it's something they've done 1,000 times before. Thank them for it. Bring them coffee in bed. Text them during the day just to say you're thinking about them. Ask about their dreams, their fears, their hopes. Listen to their answer. Really listen. Put down your phone. Look them in the eyes. Be present. Tell them they look beautiful, even when they're in their pajamas with messy hair. Tell them you're proud of them. Tell them you're grateful for them. Tell them you choose them. Today and tomorrow and every day after that. Do the small things. The everyday things. The things that don't make it onto Instagram but make life worth living. The things that say, I see you, I value you, I will never take you for granted. But here's what most people don't understand. These gestures can't be forced. They can't be fake. Your partner will know if you're just going through the motions. They can sense the difference between genuine appreciation and obligatory niceness. The key is to shift your mindset. Instead of focusing on what your partner isn't doing, start noticing what they are doing. Instead of taking their efforts for granted, start expressing gratitude. Instead of waiting for them to make you feel loved, start making them feel loved. I call it the gratitude reset. Every day, find 3 things your partner did that you appreciated, even if they're small, even if they're things they do every day. Thank them out loud with specifics. Not thanks for dinner, but thank you for making my favorite pasta, even though you don't like it. It made me feel cared for. Not thanks for taking out the trash, but thank you for handling the garbage without me asking. It's one less thing I have to worry about. The specificity matters. It shows you're paying attention. It shows you notice their efforts. It shows you don't take them for granted. And here's the magic part. When you start expressing gratitude, your partner starts feeling valued. When they feel valued, they start doing more things worth appreciating. It becomes a positive feedback loop instead of a negative one, but you have to be consistent. You can't do this for a week and then go back to taking them for granted. You can't use appreciation as a tool to get something you want and then forget about it. It has to become a way of life. I've seen couples on the brink of divorce completely turn their relationship around just by implementing this simple practice. Not therapy, not grand gestures, not dramatic changes, just daily, consistent appreciation and attention. One couple I worked with was so far gone they were already dividing assets. But during one of our meetings, something shifted. The husband mentioned that his wife still made his coffee exactly the way he liked it, even though they were divorcing. And she mentioned that he still kissed her goodbye every morning, even though they weren't speaking. They realized they were still taking care of each other, even in their anger. They were still showing love, even if they weren't feeling it. And that sparked a conversation about all the ways they had been showing love that the other person hadn't been noticing. They ended up reconciling, not because they went to therapy or had some dramatic breakthrough, but because they started paying attention to each other again. They started appreciating what was already there instead of focusing on what was missing. Because here's what I've learned after watching 1,000 marriages die. Love is not a feeling. It's not butterflies and passion and romance, though those things are nice. Love is a choice. A daily choice to prioritize someone else's happiness alongside your own. A choice to notice them, to appreciate them, to continue earning their love every single day. The couples who make it, the ones who are still holding hands after 40 years, they're not lucky. They're not blessed with some magical connection that the rest of us lack. They're disciplined. They choose each other every day. They never stop courting each other. They never take each other for granted. And the ones who don't make it, they're not bad people. They're not evil or selfish or heartless. They're just human. They got comfortable. They got distracted. They forgot that love requires maintenance, attention, effort. They assumed that because they loved each other once, they would love each other forever, regardless of how they treated each other. But love is like a plant. It needs water, sunlight, care. Neglect it long enough, and it dies. And once it's dead, once it's really, truly dead, all the water in the world won't bring it back. I've seen people try to resurrect dead relationships. They buy flowers, plan romantic dinners, take expensive vacations, but it's too late. The well of goodwill has run dry. The benefit of the doubt has been exhausted. The partner has emotionally moved on, even if they're still physically present. There's a point of no return in relationships. A moment when taking someone for granted crosses the line into permanent damage. When the neglected partner stops caring about being noticed, when they stop hoping for change, when they stop believing their partner is capable of seeing them again, and you won't know when you've crossed that line until it's too late. Your partner won't announce it. They won't give you a warning. They'll just quietly detach, emotionally withdraw, and start building a life that doesn't depend on your attention or appreciation. I had a client who described it perfectly. She said, "I spent years begging him to see me, to notice me, to value me. And then one day, I stopped wanting him to. I realized I'd been asking the wrong person for validation. I started giving it to myself. That's when a marriage is truly over. Not when someone files for divorce, but when one person stops caring whether the other person cares. When they stop investing their emotional energy in someone who doesn't invest back." So let me ask you something. Right now, today, how are you treating the person you love? Are you taking them for granted? Are you assuming they'll always be there? Are you coasting on old feelings while you put your energy into work, friends, hobbies, everything except them? Are you making them compete with your phone for your attention? Are you treating them like a roommate instead of a lover? Are you forgetting to see them, really see them as the incredible, complex, beautiful human being they are? Because if you recognize yourself in this description, you need to change. Today, right now. Not tomorrow, not when things calm down at work, not after the holidays. Now, here's your homework. Tonight, when you go home, put down your phone. Look at your partner. Really look at them. Ask them about their day and listen to the answer. Find something to appreciate and tell them about it. Do something, anything, to show them they matter to you, and then do it again tomorrow. And the day after that. and every day for the rest of your relationship. Because that's what love looks like in real life. Not the fantasy version you see in movies, but the daily, unglamorous, absolutely essential work of choosing someone over and over again. Text them right now. Tell them something you appreciate about them. Plan something special for this weekend. Bring them coffee tomorrow morning. Ask them about their dreams, and actually listen to the answer. Touch them. Kiss them like you mean it. Look them in the eyes, and remember why you fell in love with them in the first place. Because the alternative is sitting in a lawyer's office in 5 years, fighting over who gets the dog, wondering where it all went wrong. The alternative is watching your children shuttle between 2 homes because you couldn't be bothered to appreciate the person who chose to build a life with you. The alternative is spending the rest of your life regretting that you let the best thing that ever happened to you slip away because you took it for granted, because you forgot that love is not a guarantee. It's a gift, and gifts can be returned. Don't let that happen. Don't become another statistic. Don't let the person you love become a stranger because you stopped paying attention. Don't let familiarity breed contempt in your relationship. Start today. Start now. Choose them again. See them again. Love them again with intention, with purpose, with the full knowledge that they could walk away if you don't give them a reason to stay. Because they can. And they will. And when they do, when they find someone who appreciates them, who notices them, who makes them feel alive again, you'll only have yourself to blame. The question is, are you going to do something about it? Are you going to break this destructive pattern? Are you going to choose love over comfort, effort over complacency, gratitude over entitlement? Or are you going to keep taking them for granted until one day you wake up and they're gone? The choice is yours, but choose quickly, because time is running out and love doesn't wait forever. And neither do the people we claim to love more than life itself. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me, have you recognized this pattern in your relationship? What specific thing are you going to do differently starting today? What small gesture have you been taking for granted that you're going to start appreciating? Share your story, your commitment, your wake-up call. Because someone else watching this video needs to hear that they're not alone, that it's not too late, that love can be saved if we're willing to fight for it. And if this video opened your eyes, if it made you realize something important about your relationship, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Because love is too important to lose to something as stupid as taking each other for granted. Don't let your love story end with a whimper. Make it count. Make it last. Make it worth fighting for. Because at the end of the day, the person sleeping next to you chose you out of billions of people on this planet. They chose to build a life with you, to trust you with their heart, to believe in a future together. Don't make them regret that choice. Don't make them wish they had chosen someone else. Show them every day why they made the right decision. Show them that you see them, you value them, you would choose them again and again and again, because that's what love really is. Not a feeling that comes and goes, but a choice that you make every single day. A choice to notice, to appreciate, to cherish the person who chose to love you back. Make that choice. Make it today. Make it every day for the rest of your life. Because the person you love deserves nothing less than your full attention, your genuine appreciation, and your unwavering commitment to never, ever taking them for granted again.